Buying real estate is a big commitment. Buying real estate outside of your country is an even bigger commitment. However, investing in international real estate has a lot of advantage. Taxes, growth, citizenship, residency, expanding your horizon, or just having a second or third or a fourth home outside of country so you can have that special place to clear your ideas, are some of the benefits that you can find by buying properties outside of your country. And a lot of people that I know that can afford investing in real estate out of their country, out of Brazil, out of the US, out of Europe, sometimes they don't do because they commit one or more of these three mistakes that I'm going to tell you. And the first mistake that people that I know that can afford international real estate, but they don't do it, is just comparing the possible returns that they can have in a property outside of their country and a property in their country. I come from finance, so yeah, I understand that you are comparing returns because you are comparing investment. However, an investment comparison or an investment analysis cannot be done only based on the number that you see on a result. Maybe 12% for a Brazilian is too low, but 12% for an American, it is very high. And that happens because you need to ponder not only the possible return, but also the possible risk. See, Brazil, I'll take Brazil as an example because I'm Brazilian and I have a lot of clients from Brazil. Brazil is a country that is an undeveloped country or an in development country. I don't know how they call it right now. Back in my days, we're third world country, but I don't think that is any. And Brazil has a lot of problems, a lot of corruption, a lot of taxes, a lot of inflation. So of course, that anyone that wants to invest in Brazil, even Brazilians, because of all the risks associated to invest in Brazil, they demand a higher return. In the other hand, if you are going to invest in more developed countries that are more stable, that have low inflation, that have low corruption, and you can actually trust the legal system that everything is going to be done on the right way, or mostly in the right way, like the US, you're going to expect lower returns because you are incurring of lower risk. There's a phrase that everybody says, the higher the risk, the higher the return. And that's not true. The higher the risk, the higher the possibility of return, or the higher the risk, the more return I expect to get that risk back. So every time you have a high risk, you also can expect a high return, but you need to understand that you have high possibilities of something going wrong. That's why construction has more return than just buying a property for rent. Higher risk, higher expected return. Lower risk, lower expected return. So next time you're going to invest outside of your country, you need to understand, is this country as an investment a bigger risk than the country that I am in? If it is, you can expect a higher return. If it isn't, you can expect a lower return, and that's okay because you are incurring a lower risk. The second mistake that I see people that can afford international real estate not buying international real estate is because they just compare the price per square foot or price per square meter, depending where you are. And I see a lot of that happening with Brazilians. When you do something like that, you need to take into consideration two things. Number one is the currency exchange. And number two is, of course, what that country or city has to offer comparing to the country or the other country and the other city has to offer. Often enough, I see Brazilians saying, oh my God, but the price per square feet there is $10,000. When you convert that into reais, let's say it's 500,000, almost 500,000 reais per square foot or 50,000 reais per square meters. And that's a lot of money for Brazilians. I get it. But you need to understand that comparing the price per square foot in your little town in Brazil and in a mega city like Miami, like New York, and like Dubai, it's much different because a small city in Brazil with 400,000 population doesn't have the same benefits to offer from Dubai, for instance, where the price per square foot here is about $1,000 to $2,000 per square foot, which is 10 to $20,000 per square meter. In Brazil, the price per square meter is much lower than that, maybe it's half. But what you're going to get there that you can compare actually to Dubai. You see, there's a new project now being launched in Brazil, beautiful project in the city of Gramado, which is our Alps, is where the rich people go to feel cold during the winter, and it's a Kempinski brand. And the price per square foot is 100,000 reais per square meter. When you break that down, you're going to have more or less, $2,000 per square. $2,000 is beachfront property in Miami Beach, is waterfront property in Miami. So even though Gramado is a very nice place, it's a beautiful place, gorgeous, I cannot compare what Gramado, a small town, has to offer to what Miami has to offer or what Dubai has to offer. So when I compare both things, they are completely different. So when someone tells me that $2,000 per square foot is expensive, but they are actually buying $2,000 per square foot in Brazil, or they say, oh, that's the same price in Brazil. So Brazil is expensive when you see the overall picture, not the property abroad. So just comparing wherever the city you are located to where you want to invest is not a price per square foot basis, is what that price per square foot can get you on the property, on the neighborhood, on the city, and in the country. And the third problem that I see people that can actually afford buying international real estate and not doing is the currency exchange. You see, one of the benefits of investing in property abroad is that you are going to internationalize part of your wealth. And when I say internationalize, is making that wealth another currency, a little bit different from the one that you actually make the most of your money. In the case of Brazilians, is Brazilian reais. So when I tell someone that they are going to internationalize part of their portfolio, the correct thing to do is actually taking that part of the portfolio, convert in the currency that they are going to invest, might be euros, might be dollars, and eliminate the translation after you make that investment, the conversion of that investment back into real. If you are internationalizing your portfolio, you cannot, and I'm going to say it again, you cannot keep thinking about that part of your asset as your local currency. So when a Brazilian takes $100,000, which is 500,000 reais, out of Brazil and put in the US or put it in Dubai or put it in Europe, the biggest mistake that they can do is keep checking the currency exchange to see, oh my God, now this part of my portfolio worth more or less real. The whole idea of taking money out of Brazil is to reduce your risk, or to reduce the risk that you are exposed to real. You're not exposed to reais anymore, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep converting this asset back into real. This asset is international. Dollar is euro, is dirham. This asset is local, is real. Treat reais as reais, treat dollars as dollars. And if you eliminate those three mistakes, I'm sure that if you are willing and able and you can afford international real estate, you're not going to make a mistake. That's what I tell my clients. Celebrate your success and buy a property abroad.